Normally, I stay outside of every single other spirituality or religion. I just stay inside of my own dragon's path and everything that has to do with the dragon, because that in itself can be very confusing or difficult and also very challenging. But from time to time, I wonder myself, what kind of a connection that we all have? Every single spirituality that also has to do with the dragon spirituality. So my brothers and sisters, my name is Tim Heijen and I am a dragon witch. And to be very honest, I was a little bit annoyed because lately I have some confirmation how it seems that our beautiful spirituality and spiritual path of the dragon is being more and more like a cult, like people attacking me because I am not agreeing with what someone else is saying. That is one of the definitions of what a cult should be. And that is what I fear for, that our spiritual path of the dragon has become much more and more of like a cult with leaders, with laws, with things that we can follow. And that is exactly not what the dragons or the dragon's path is. The dragons themselves are not the ones that we need to listen to. Even though then, I made videos in the past about someone that was also talking about the dragon's path, but I did not agree with. Immediately I had so many responses of the person that I was talking about, like, oh, you don't know anything, or you should shut up about this, and things like this. And that actually shocked me because I am allowed to give my opinion, no matter what, and that uh, should I should have my rage actually inside because I learned how to do that, but sometimes they make it so difficult. Every single time when I hear that, like you are wrong, or maybe you don't have dragons by your side, or maybe no, that is just that you want to protect your cult priests or leader. And that is what I fear for. We don't have that. And you should never look up to someone. If I can say to you, what connects our dragon's path with every single other spiritual path, a spiritual, and this might seem controversial of what I'm going to say, but that is in my head for years. And I'm actually very glad that I can say to you, what are we? What is a dragon? And what is the dragon inside? What are you, in fact? And that with this, I was going to be back in Christianity, in this case. Imagine yourself Christianity, the one that is looked up to, the one figure, Jesus. Jesus is loved everywhere in the world. Whenever you hear the name Jesus, you immediately know what kind of a spiritual path it is, because that in itself has become a religion. But how did it start? It didn't start with religion. The one person, this one where it all started with, was actually a rebel, going against what everyone is saying, even though he knew the consequences. He knew that he was going to die if he continued to say about his own vision, about his own words, about how it should be and what it should be. Even though there were a couple of followers that loved him for everything that he was saying, but the majority was not having it, and he was executed for what he was saying. But he knew that because he was going against the Roman Empire. He was going against the Jews that were very powerful at the time, saying that they were wrong. They were wrong, and he saw that vision. And for every single one of ourselves, we have the same vision, that he should not be looked up to like everyone else in the world, because no one knows him. So they cannot create laws about him. But he has a vision. And who else had that vision? My brothers and sisters, who else was going against the majority? That was Lucifer. Years ago, I had a vision about a dragon inside of a very vivid dream. And he was amazing. He was looking amazing. And my dragon was there. I could see, feel him, but I could also feel and see a dragon that introduced himself as Lucifer. And Lucifer, of course, I stepped back, one step back, because in my Catholic background that I used to have, I knew that Lucifer was bad. You should not be but when you put Lucifer and Jesus together, what were they? Both of them. They were rebels. Both of them. Was that coincidence? If you go against the Roman Empire, and that is exactly what I'm doing now. I'm saying to the people, I have a vision of dragons. I have a vision of Tiamat. And she was telling this to me. And you, of course, you don't have to believe it. And that is what I'm constantly saying. You don't have to look up to me or anyone else, because we are just the messenger. We are just telling you that this is real. Just the same thing as Jesus. And what is also very well known, because Jesus was a rebel. Jesus was going against everything. That is exactly what I'm also doing now. I'm an animal rights activist, going against what the law says. I don't care about that law. Neither did Jesus, and neither did Lucifer. That I more and more am convinced that that is the same spirit. And that is controversial. Because, like I said, Jesus good, Lucifer bad. Well, my brothers and sisters, there were many what I can consider as pieces or reincarnations of what that spirit is. Jesus or Lucifer are very religious figures. But when you consider this, you can also see Lucifer as the great dragon, not as an evil entity or bad. That is being created by humanity, because that is the Catholic Church that made it into that. Good versus evil. But they were both the same. And same with a lot of messengers for you. And that is something that I had as well. Even though sometimes I get repetitive. And people say, you say the same thing again. But maybe you want to hear it again. Maybe you want to be reminded of that again. And that is also what I just want to say. That connects every single spiritual path. Because what we see is Lucifer in a different way. And Lucifer with many different kind of names. The nickname of, for example, the feathered dragon as Quetzalcoatl is also being considered as the morning star, the one that creates light, the one that did not agree with the other gods, the one that stands for his own and came up for his visions, came up for his dreams and ideas. So I was the only one that was telling things about the dragon, because I had visions. And I had voices and dreams, and I didn't know about any laws. Should I follow any laws? I don't know. But what the messengers told me was to go against what the things that was going against your own ideas. When you look into the world with new eyes, with dragon eyes, you look at something completely new. That's the more anger that you might show for humans doing all the wrong things. And that is what I see in this someone that is talking about dragons. And with all of it, I don't blame the one that said that. I blame her fan club. Her fan club are toxic, and they don't even know who she is and what kind of an visions that she had or that I have. They don't know that. They just blindly follow, and that is where it goes against Lucifer. That you go against, you are just obeying something that you should never obey, and that is a group, that is a power. You should always obey your own self. And when you do this in group, saying you are wrong, my master was right, that is completely not the dragon. Not, and it made me so tired, to be very honest, just tired of seeing these, I'm sorry, idiots, blind idiots that just follow something without even thinking and having no experiences whatsoever. Nothing. And you cannot go against someone who has these visions and dreams, because those are the ones. I'm just telling you this. I'm not saying that you have to follow it. I'm just saying that you just do whatever you want with it. But not saying that, oh no, because someone else is right. No, no one else is right. I'm just saying to you, it connects all. Everything connects with that spirit of being a rebellious spirit. You know, I consider maybe, even though I don't care about that specific path like Christianity, but that Jesus and Lucifer are one. But nothing, it's much more than that. Because in every path, in every light, in every one of them, you can see, for example, in our path, you can consider Leviathan as the dark side. And you consider, for example, Tiamat or the other dragon god like Fafnir as the light side. You can just do the same thing as in Christianity. And with every single spiritual path. It just recycles in a new form. But it depends really on how your light is and where your light is and what your guardians are. Every single time it's something different. And a different package, a different way. So I can say for myself that I am a rebel. I love to be a rebel. I don't agree with people. And especially not if they shoot innocent animals. If they shoot and kill innocent animals and laugh with it and say, yeah, it's fine because I love it and God is agreeing with this. I hate that. I hate that so much, and there is nothing wrong with hate because we are still humans. We are just humans with an energy that is very much draconic. So Lucifer also is a part of our path. And you can consider this as Leviathan or Tiamat or other dragon gods, but Lucifer lives within us. And that is why we are going against it. That is why I now understand whenever people say Jesus is a dragon, but Jesus is also Lucifer. And that is actually something inside of my path that blew my mind. And I wanted to share this. And even telling you this, just what I'm telling you now, is also a form of rebellion. Going against the books, going against the people, going against everything. And that is typically what dragons are too. I'm saying not that they are wrong, but I just want to say those who follow that blindly, just harassing people for just saying that I shouldn't do that because my master, fuck you. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry. If you respond to this, I very much understand. But that doesn't mean that I have to agree with what you're saying. Because you might not feel Lucifer. You might not feel Jesus. You might not feel the dragon. You might not feel it. And I don't blame you for that. You need an awakening. You need your own path. You need to follow it. You need to put the puzzle pieces together, and you need years for one path, just for one step inside of that path. And don't be afraid to go back, because that is the hardest one. Don't be afraid to go back on your path and say, oh, I was wrong. I'm going to step on it again. That is completely fine. You shouldn't be embarrassed for that. But yeah, so whenever I met Lucifer inside of visions and dreams, it all changes. I could better see and feel and understand this world and everything that is based upon this. And even though I have my autism, but it even helped me more to let the dragon in. That I was not going inside of a straight line and say, it's fine. No, it's... Like I said, I'm not going against Jesus or going against Lucifer or whatever. But what bothers me is the fan club of it. And I'm saying this to you, Tiamat or other dragon gods are not those who are with people that stand in line and try to obey whatever they are saying. No, you should just do your own thing. Do your own thing, because in a way, you don't have to look up to priests or whatever. You don't have to look up to Jesus. You have to look up to yourself. Because here you are the one. And you know, the most crazy people here in this world, you can say, are the ones who are blessed by it. Blessed by the energy of the dragon, Lucifer. because you are a rebel, you are not imprisoned, you are not in chains. And that is the reason why I started to talk about dragons, because I just want people to know that. And maybe you be more awakened because of these words. And these words are nothing at all like having, I'm sorry for that, I just, like having content or something like this. Whatever I'm saying to you is something that I normally should not say, because it's very personal. It's very personal, yet I'm saying this to you for the sole reason that there might be one soul that might be helped with this, could be helped with this, because you have the energy of might be Lucifer, or that has so many names, Quetzalcoatl. Let's say that the dragon Quetzalcoatl is trying to saying this to you, that you don't have to follow a path of others and not protecting others. It's only about helping, about being yourself. And whenever I say that right and left don't go together, that is exactly my point. This is my point, that it doesn't go together. Because right is not rebellious. That is obeying. And left, that is just who you really are. Left is following what you really are. And that is the reason why I say it cannot mix. It doesn't have to do with anything to do with being like racist or whatever. That doesn't even make sense. It's just, I'm sorry, this is just what I wanted to say. Whenever it's all about you. You are in the spotlight, and maybe it's actually not that bad that we have this idea from Jesus. Even if he was surrounded by the Roman Empire, he was surrounded by the Jews, he was surrounded by everyone. He says, I'm not following that. I'm following something completely different. There were people that were following him because of that. But even then, you should never look up to just him. Look up to the idea. Look up for what he was saying. Look up how he saw the world. And maybe if you are inspired by that, you should not just see the man who spoke about this, but what he spoke about. And that is what I could see here. They didn't look up into what she was saying. They look up into what she was. And that is completely out of the point of the dragon's path and every single other spiritual path that started somewhere. If it was a religion, it started from a spiritual standpoint. A crazy guy who has these images in his head, the voices in his head, and he saw the world in a different way. And this is exactly how I saw it. And this is exactly how other people saw it. Many people in this world that people look up to, but they should not. They just look up to what he or she was saying and how they see the world as unlike anyone else. What I had in the beginning of my path was 20 years, and especially in the first years, was harsh, was different, was something new, something to understand. It was so different. And I had no help in the first 7 years. I have no idea, yet I continued, because I knew what was going on was very much real. The dragons were real, and every single thing that belonged to it was real. And that is what I wanted to say to the world, that the dragons are real, and everything that they stand for, like nature, the 4 elements, and magic, it's real. Something that I could feel very well. But something that I didn't came to a conclusion for many years was that even that one person that said, yeah, I follow my own self, but maybe Jesus was a dragon. Maybe Jesus was Lucifer, because they were both rebels. And they offer you just nothing else than just freedom. Might it be the same thing, what the dragon is offering to you? The dragon offers you freedom from dogma, offers you freedom from any kind of law. Just see the world in how they see it. Just look at it. Let yourself be awakened and see your fire. see your light where you belong. And that is the entire point of it. On the entire point of finding your way to it. And going against that, what you don't agree with. If you don't agree with it, then speak out about it. I don't agree with suffering and death of those who are weaker than us. Because the dragon, because Lucifer, because I was going against it. Even though everyone is saying, oh, what a foolish, stupid idiot I am. I'm an asshole, a bastard, a Satan worshipper. I've heard it all. I'm so used to it. And yet I continue, even to this day, that these people harass me from these fan club, whatever. I'm not blaming her at all. The one that said anything about the dragon and is mixing left and right. I'm not blaming it. That video was passed. But her fan club, that reminded me so much of Christians these days, or Muslims, or whatever. It's just, they are just like, yeah, what can I say? These people are much more like brainwashed slaves, not seeing what they were saying, but seeing who was saying. And that is the wrong way to do it. So I hope you do it the correct way. My brothers and sisters, don't look up to me. Don't look up to anyone else. But there is just one Messiah in this world, and that is you.